I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
This is going to be an exhilarating win and an excruciating loss on either side. Sanchez has a very good eye at the plate. Career bases loaded. He's been a beast. Brewers need him right now.
Base hit should end it.
2-2. Sanchez on the ground, third base. Out at second. Throw to first. Ball game. A double play to end the game. And the Cubs take the finale 4-3.
I'll take the excruciating loss part of that, I guess. The excruciating loss of the series and the excruciating pain of watching Cubs fans celebrate at AmFam Field. And, I know there's a lot. We all know there's a lot. But when they have a drone up the way they did at the end of that game, and all you see is Cubs fans standing, I said to thyself, thank you for not going to that game. Because that would have been a mistake. Blech.
Yeah, I can tell you from experience, being at American Family Field when the Cubs beat the Brewers is not fun. And it was not fun this weekend either.
Nope. We're going to do our best, though, to have some fun on a Monday. A Monday! What's up, Wisconsin? Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Let's play catch-up. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Packers.
Well, some good news to start. Matthew Golden held his kids' camp at Titletown this weekend in Green Bay. Lily Zhao from Fox 6 caught up with Mr. Golden and shared with him that Randall Cobb and James Jones of yesteryear are very complimentary of Mr. Golden. What'd that mean to you, Matt?
That means a lot, but, just for me, just taking it one day at a time, knowing what I can do. I got a lot of confidence in myself. So, whatever happens, I know it's going to be good. And, I'm just looking forward to going into the season with my guys.
So what do you think his impact needs to be in order for everybody to get off his back? Because last year, first-round draft pick, and you knew this was coming, right? The rookie, the first time, and
I think it's twofold. I think, one, it's first just playing time. I think that was the most frustrating thing last year. It wasn't even necessarily his fault, or at least we didn't know if it was his fault. It was kind of just he had to wait in the wings. At least that was the message that was given. It was, yeah, we understand he wants more snaps. Those are going to come in time. That's what we heard from LaFleur and the rest of the coaching staff throughout the season. Well, now that time's here, right? There's no reason why he should be riding the bench as much as he was last season. So now it's just the time to prove it. Now he's got to go out and prove what we saw at the end of the season is what can be consistent play from Matthew Golden.
And he's going to get the time this year.
Right.
So careful what you wish for, or just catch all the balls.
Well, I don't think that I'm going to say it's especially based on his response, that it's a careful what you wish for. I mean, he should be extremely hungry and ready to prove why he should have been out there right away. Right? This is your moment. Prove it.
And in Packers history, there's not many circumstances where they expect and or even depend on a rookie coming in and making some giant impact. So we'll see. And it was good to see him with all the kids in Green Bay this weekend. I'm stalling. Anything else you want to talk about?
The Packers are awesome.
They don't show up. I mean, they're not in town until for a while. July 20. Oh, it's a month from. Is it a month from today? It's like a month-ish from today.
Oh, there you go.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was nice. We can't. Let's just do it.
Brewers.
We've lost 2 out of the last 3 series. So it's not, everything's fine. I mean, 50-31, it's going to be okay. but losing to the Cubs the way they did this weekend. Saturday was what it was. I did not have. I know you were there, so maybe
I was going to say I disagree strongly.
Well, my point was we win Friday. Okay, I did not have an expectation of a sweep. Those are disappointments waiting to happen. I was hopeful for a series win. So losing Saturday night after winning Friday night did not get me up. I know you were there. There's going to be stories. I want to hear them. But yesterday, and are we all on the same page? I'm not trying to steal thunder from the Malott Meets Morning Mind Dump at the top of the hour, but I feel like we better all be on the same page in regards to exactly what the Brewers need at the trade deadline. This is no longer a want. This is no longer a desire. They need help in the bullpen.
Yeah. I'm okay. So that was the big reason why I said Saturday for me wasn't. It is what it is. You lost 2 games to the Chicago Cubs. 2 games. Keep in mind, if they could have swept, right? I understand, unlikely, but if they could have, with your 1, 2, 3, with your 3 best starting pitchers, it's not like the rotation does not line up well for us to take on the Cubs at home. No, this was exactly how you would have wanted it to be if this was going to be a playoff series. Best foot forward. You have Chad Patrick absolutely crap the bed. And the bullpen, I mean, the game was over in the 6th. The game was over in the 6th on Saturday. That is a huge, if there are, I don't care how many red flags you have in the case, pull them all out, throw them all up. This is just sirens blaring. This is the problem. It's been the problem all season long, too. All season long. It's been the bullpen has underperformed. It's cost us way too many games, and it cost us that game on Saturday. That was the biggest notion of it. Didn't even seem like we could stand a chance of being back in it. The Brewers were just fighting to stay alive the entire time, and then it's over. Sunday, completely different reason why it was the most frustrating loss. Can't even come into Monday and go, okay, we lost 2 out of 3, but we know why. We just need to fix the bullpen. Well, that's only half the story.
Part of the I have questions portion of the show is what were the Brewers supposed to do at the end there yesterday when Kunal was literally dying on the mound? Jason in the 920 and I went at this last night. I have questions about that scenario. I think I have answers. Boy, I acted like I had the answers in the conversation with him. I really did.
I mean, I know it could have helped. More runs.
Well, and that so much of that is dependent on hits, right? We got to have hit. Oh, wait, we did. We had all the hits we needed. The amount of people that got left on base, though, I learned a new stat this weekend.
Yeah.
There's a stat called left on base, as in actual runners stranded, a team left on base statistic, 10 alone on Sunday. But I learned that there's a stat also called individual left on base, which is where they look at missed RBI chances by hitters. I don't want to ruin your Monday that quick. Real bad.
Hey, do you remember when I said getting guys on base and pecking away isn't going to be the solution because you're not going to be able to take advantage of every single opportunity they give you? Remember when I said that? And then that's exactly what they did.
I caught myself just now. You'd be really proud of me. You know how I sometimes say things and I go, ooh, that didn't come out right? I was really close there just now.
Oh.
Like you were like, we peck away a lot, right?
Yeah.
Our pecker's broken.
Well, kind of feels like it is this morning. So yes, we're getting our feelings out. Okay. Today, let's play catch up. We're getting it out. We're going to get it out all morning. We're going to get it out at 7 and get out at 8.
All right, we got to let you guys also know about something happening in Milwaukee today. In case you missed the news over the weekend and late last week, There are some players on the Milwaukee Brewers that are very, very close to the situation happening in Venezuela. There is a donation drive today at 12:30 p.m. at Blessed Sacrament Catholic Church on South 41st in Milwaukee, 3100 South 41st. The Brewers shared this on their X account yesterday, and just want us to help get the word out that they are collecting emergency supplies that will be shipped to Venezuela. We're talking non-perishable food items, emergency supplies, hygiene products. The drive starts at 12:30 today. If you're looking for more information, Josh and I don't mean to steal your Twitter handle here, but I'm going to repost it. I would assume that you would too.
Yep.
Just to help get the word out of what's going on. So at On Air Josh, at Trevor Thomas IW. If you watched the game on Friday, what a moment for William Contreras. That we'll hear in the most electrifying sound coming up later today. But Josh, it's hard, right? Because that seems so far away. And yet it absolutely hits home here with the Brewers.
Yeah, it's just a good reminder that, these players aren't just machines, right? Like they're at the plate and we need them to be dialed in, focused up on every pitch, every moment. And in the back of their head, they're thinking about, family, friends, their country, all these terrible moments that are happening. And so, yeah, absolutely. If you have the ability to help out, if it means something to Wild Bill, it should mean something to us, And so when he talked about it after the game, that was enough proof there.
All right, let's move on. It's going to be Brewers all day, every segment. We'll cover lots more of the series and the games and the pitching and the hitting or lack thereof pitching and lack thereof hitting. We've got 2 hours and 45 minutes left of that.
Yeah, that's coming.
Anything new with the Badgers?
Badgers.
No.
Oh.
Bucks?
Bucks.
No.
Anything else?
Anything else?
Two things.
Yeah.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was awesome. Besides,
do you feel like you had
Brewers.
a trifecta?
I feel like I ran a marathon.
Okay, that's a trifecta.
But I don't feel like it was a triathlon.
Well, if you feel like you ran a marathon and you didn't run a marathon, then that's typically an easy sign that you had a trifecta.
Yeah. No, it was a great weekend. We had a blast at Summerfest. We had a blast at the Brewer game until everything went to hell. And then, it was a lot of fun even on Sunday too, just chilling with everyone. But everyone had a great time. We all were rocking the new Roosevelt exclusive from Summerfest that you can get at the on the grounds this year. It was a blast. Was very, very thankful for everyone that came in and all the locals that came out as well.
How many Cubs fans were you responsible for on Saturday?
Probably like 15 to 20, maybe.
Unbearable.
Yeah. Now, I do have to say it was very interesting, and I was going to save this but we'll get into too much details of the game in the morning mind up. The Cubs fans that I brought to the game were even coming up to me and saying, boy, I just got beer spilled on me. I just got why is that guy yelling at us? Because they were wearing Roosevelts. They weren't wearing Cubs gear.
Okay.
And there were Cubs fans coming up to us that were not even wearing a team affiliation and saying yeah, get out of here. Getting in our, and I just looked at him and I went, this is why I hate going to Brewers Cubs games, because you have these obnoxious Cubs fans. But for the Cubs fans that I brought up that weren't being identified by other Cubs fans as Cubs fans, to witness that was vindication of yep, everything we say about how bad Cubs fans are at Brewers Cubs games is on display. Here you go.
And yet they still probably doubled down that, we're not that bad.
Right.
It just seemed really bad from the outside looking in. I know you lived it Saturday, clearly, but even yesterday, just, I don't know, man. Maybe we don't care as much during the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
That's plausible.
Oh, we definitely don't.
It's the pre-holiday weekend. People out of town. I mean, the town was vacant this past weekend. It's up north style, so leave it to Cubs fans to just come on up north.
Can I also say that I'm not speaking for everyone, but there might have been a mentality of I have somewhere else I can go. And so it was, I don't want to see a game with a bunch of Cubs fans there. Oh, Summerfest is happening. Oh, who's playing at Summerfest? Okay, let's go there.
Absolutely. I wanted to be at Sunday's game in the worst way. See Woody come back after all of this, pitch at home. That was the game that if I was going to go, I was going to go.
Yep.
I had no interest, really, truly. Like, as I sat and thought about it, kind of took myself through my day yesterday. Again, I've shared on the show that that would be a lot of work for us to pack up a tailgate and get down there early and leave early on a Sunday. And we had something going on last night for the Pink Flamingo coming up in a few weeks. And it was too much. And then when I saw how many obnoxious Cubs fans were there yesterday, I was like, golly, that would be a good reminder for you next time you think you want to go to a game like that. My next door neighbor, Brendan, who used to live in Milwaukee, is like, this isn't worth it. So is that just what we have to accept now? Is that when the Cubs come to town, Brewers fans are like, I want nothing to do with that. We were there for the playoffs and it felt better.
Right. I think that part of it, though, is what else can I do with my Wisconsin weekend? If there's other things going on, like Summerfest, like all the things, if I can find an excuse to do something else and not have to deal with Cubs fans, I think that makes us go, all right, I'm taking the chest plate off. I'm taking the armor off. I'm not going to battle with Cubs fans this weekend. They can have the seats. I'm not saying that's right by any means, right? Defend your house. But it's kind of an excuse to not have to. Well, I would have been there, but I really wanted to see this guy perform at Summerfest. So,
that's a really great question. I would have been there, but fill in the blank. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. What excuse can we all come up with as individuals as to why we decided not to go to the Brewers Cubs series? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. I would have went to the Cubs Brewers games this weekend at AmFam Field, but
my dog ate my tickets.
Seriously, I wanted to sleep in. You name it. There's going to be a lot of reasons, and they all have to do with Cubs fans. All right, we'll do that next. I have questions. The other questions that are before us is, if you had back surgery, are you going to work the next day? Because that, and they didn't need to show us. Did you see that Friday night?
I did. Yeah. I was like,
wasn't
okay.
ready for that.
Right. Okay. Just okay.
And also, what were the Brewers supposed to do at the end of yesterday's game when Kuno looked like he was literally dying on the mound? I don't know that they had much choice. We'll talk about that next. I have questions coming up live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
When things just don't add up, Trevor and Josh ask the hard questions or just point out how messed up stuff is.
I only have one question. Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year.
What's the most important question the Badgers have to answer Saturday?
This is a great question. Oh my God, this is a great question.
It's time for I Have Questions, presented by Capital Credit Union, doing the right thing on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Burn it down!
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line. I have questions in sports and in life. The right partner matters. At Capital Credit Union, they are there for you every step of the way. Capital Credit Union, doing the right thing. Text money to 79489. A few questions that we've been posed today so far.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, fill in the blank. I would have went to the Cubs-Brewers game.
Brewers-Cubs game.
I wish it was that. I wish they would have agreed with that. But blank. What else could you have possibly had going on that you were like, maybe not?
Yep.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line. I'm kind of looking to you there, Josh.
Well, some of these that I'm reading, I'm going, well, I can't say that. All right, can't read that one on air. Okay. So we got one from the 262. This must have been one of the people that was with me. Don't know your name. Someone said, I would have gone to the game Sunday, except I already went to the game Saturday with Josh and had to deal with the Cub fans then. So someone chiming in saying, yeah, that's exactly what's the problem. Went Saturday. No way I was going to go again on Sunday after dealing with the Cubs fans after one Brewers loss. A lot of people saying it was too expensive. 414 said, I would have gone to the Brewers-Cubs games, but tickets were too expensive as usual for a Cubs game. It's a good point. The Brewers also know how to take advantage of when the Cubs are in town. The parking is more, right? There's a lot. There's a lot of what the Brewers do that go, yeah, we know you Cub fans are here. We're going to take your money.
The 262 says, I would have been there, but fibs.
Yep. Yeah.
A lot of them.
So that's it. So that's what we're saying. Is that the reason why? Would you have gone to the game except for the fact that you just didn't want to deal with the Cub fans?
100%. 100%. I would have been there, but my family was moving, which took 3 weeks. I bet you it didn't. But I bet you just didn't want to go because of the Cubs fan.
I bet you looked at that and went, boy, we just got done moving. Probably.
Right.
Probably should stay home.
Sad. No, it's not the fans' fault. That's not what we're saying, by the way. But we are saying that it takes a lot as a Brewers fan to want to get to that game or that series, knowing full well what we're walking into. It's just that, unfortunately, simple. Two things top of mind this morning. Number one, Josh, if you potentially had back surgery someday, are you going to work the next day? Pat Murphy had the procedure done on Thursday and managed Friday night. And they showed on Apple TV what they took out of Murph's back.
Yeah, definitely didn't need to see that.
No.
But also, there is no way in hell I'm there. No. Even if I'm in his position. Like that is a yep, that's Murph response, and that's about it.
He said pregame, and he hates talking about himself, so he really was like, let's move on. Said it 3 times. That he just can't take a hit. So he was going to be managing, from what he was explaining, the tunnel. He didn't even do the post-game presser yesterday. So I wonder if he was in more pain yesterday, although he said on Friday night that he was in less pain then than the previous 3, 6, whatever days. I mean, that was that bad. It was good to see him out there. Good to see him doing an interview like he always does. And they brought him a pancake this time around. But yeah, when they showed that, I was A, not prepared for what I was looking at. And B, there was no way I would be there. And is it probably because it was Brewers Cubs? Probably. I wonder if he'll take a little time here in the next few days against the Reds.
Well, I think it depends a lot on what happens, to start the series too. You don't want to go away and then have things start to fall apart.
True. What happened at the end of the game yesterday? There was a moment when Kunal went in, and it was very clear, very quickly, that he wasn't going to be the answer.
Mm-hmm.
And we heard BA literally out loud say, nobody's up in the pen. This is Kunal's game. Late last night, late-ish, Jason in the 920 and I were texting back and forth about literally no one being available. And so I dove into the Brewers roster, how many are on the actual pitching side of the Brewers roster, 13, and who was available and who wasn't. There's no rule, by the way, in regard to who's available and who's not. It's all just based on pitch counts and games ahead and so on. And so this is how I broke it down for him. And I'm wondering if I'm onto something here or just completely off. Starting on Friday, the pitchers that pitched, Miz, Uribe, Ashby, and McGill. By the way, Friday was the start of 18 games in 17 days.
Yep.
That comes into play here. Saturday, Harrison, Patrick, if that's what you want to call it, Koenig, Anderson, Kunal. So I was told there would be no math, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's 9. We only have 13. Yesterday, Woody, 10. Then we went back to Ashby and Uribe and Kunal. The only other 3 that were even remotely close to being available were Sproat, Gasser, and Drowan. What am I missing? Was that not Kunal's game to literally try to win or lose?
Yes. And it was just, I think that's more part of the argument, though, right? Was people can be upset in the moment going, why? Why is this the case? But then, like you just did, when you dive a little deeper, okay, this is why. Here's your why. Problem is that that's not sustainable. So that is what leads to the conversation of what do the Brewers need? What's their biggest need? We've had a ton of people who have chimed in this morning. You started the conversation this morning by saying, I think we're all in agreement now. We need a relief pitcher and we need a bat. And the amount of people that said, relief pitcher, look at our numbers with runners in scoring position. And I'm going, did you not hear the next 2 seconds when Trevor said, and a bat? But that does bring up a good conversation of 2 frustrating losses, 2 frustrating moments, 2 big needs. Which is the biggest? If you're watching this series and you saw these losses, there's arguments for both. But if you are in this camp of Kunal's not the answer, you needed to have something else happen, then is the answer not bullpen first?
Has to be, especially with the way that Patrick is pitching. And Murph, I don't know if called him out's the right words, but certainly was in a moment there where he was like, listen, that's got to be something that he figures out. He's not been consistent. Good luck doing it in the middle of a game stretch like this.
Yeah. Also, is there anyone, we're asking a lot of questions here. Is there anyone, or I guess tell me how many people there are that you truly trust in that bullpen? When I don't care if it's in the 5th or the 9th. Tell me who in that bullpen you go, all right, this guy's coming in. This inning, we're at least good. I don't know that any of them right now. Maybe McGill as of late.
So then the question was, well, why didn't he pitch yesterday? Because he didn't pitch in the last because we need him to pitch today, possibly.
Right.
And we have how many more games to manage? The 262 says, why wasn't Koenig available in your mind, Trevor? The easy answer there is he pitched the day before. Did he pitch? Yeah, he pitched on Saturday, and he's just coming back from injury. So in regard to the amount of pitches and controlling his number of innings per se, he probably wasn't available yesterday strictly on a pitch count. To which then someone would be like, well, then why is he the one taking up that roster spot? Plausible if we're not going to be able to use him.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Drowan. He's a starter, but we're not doing a 6-man rotation. So that's just the way I looked at it. But I also tried to learn, like, all right, put me in that spot. Who's coming in to pitch?
No clue.
Kunal. That's it.
Right. And that's the thing that makes it so frustrating is, on one hand, I totally get the argument about the bats and runners in scoring position. But when you talk to the coaches, a lot of them will say, yep, I mean, that was bad, but that's bad luck. You know, we got the hits. We're getting our hits. The runs will come. I'm nothing but question marks when it comes to, crap, our starting pitcher is out. Now what? Like, there is no confidence at all for me across the board in that. The problem is, I don't think one bat solves the runners in scoring position problem, and I don't think one bullpen pitcher solves the problems with the bullpen. If they were one bullpen guy away, I would say, all right, then don't use the guy that he's replacing. Use everyone else. It's a bigger issue. The bullpen has been flawed all season long. They've had very short stretches where you go, no, look at how they did in this series. Okay, overall, bullpen has given up way too many games. That's not something that's going to be a one-guy fix. So that's what has me worried. I don't know at the trade deadline what really is a solution that has us going, oh, hell yeah, we made the moves we needed to. Hey, rest of the National League, look out.
We have a lot of series left. Yesterday, Woody Ashby Uribe actually came back out, which was pretty rare. Then McGill came in, but he wasn't able to continue because we have to continue using him. So that's what I mean by who is supposed to be in long-term at the end of that game. The only pitcher that was available was Kunal, meaning, let's just say hypothetically, Grant Anderson. Because there was so little depth in the Brewers bullpen yesterday, and then they went to extras, whoever they put in there could plausibly be pitching forever. Mm-hmm. And the Brewers weren't going to do that. That's why Kunal was who it was. Now, Jason's point last night was, I've never seen a pitcher fall off that fast. And I did think about this, and I'm curious if somebody listening was there yesterday. I have been in that stadium before when the roof is open, the weather seems fine, but then there's rain moving in, it gets super humid, and the roof closes, and it gets hotter than you know what inside AmFam Field. And it sure looked like it. Gary Sanchez looked like he was super warm behind the plate. It sure looked like Kunal was sweating like a madman on the mound for a few different reasons. And BA and Rock kept saying that Kunal wasn't able to get his hand dry. That's why he was unable to find anything remotely close to the strike zone.
I want to just quickly read the last 3 texts that came in because it really shows how difficult this is and the position the Brewers are in. Pinball David said, I'm still on the Scooble train. Add an elite starting pitcher, and it also helps your bullpen by probably moving Droen or Gasser to the pen. 262. If they get one hit, one of the first 8 innings with runners in scoring position, then the bullpen isn't put in the position it was yesterday. Get a damn bat. 920. If Ashby and Patrick return to how they pitched early on, bullpen would look much better. Right now, Patrick and Ashby are the problem.
Welcome to a Monday after a Cubs series loss.
Tell me there's only one problem with this Brewers team right now. Literally everyone is all over the place on what's the problem, what's the fix. That's a sign there's more than one problem. This is not a Matt Arnold go get a guy. That's not going to fix it.
We're going to dive into that a little deeper in the Mlot Meets Morning Mind Dump. I wrote down, do we all agree we need a bullpen arm or 2 or 3 at this point? The answer on the last 3 texts that Josh just read, apparently not.
No, we're not all in agreement.
Well, how do we get there? Because something's got to give. We'll cover all of that in depth. But first, the most electrifying sound of the day, and it comes from Friday. William Contreras' home run. You don't want to miss this. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
It's time for
The most electrifying.
Sound of the Day
The most electrifying.
on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
1-2 is a fly ball to left. It's hit well. It's way back there. It is gone. Up over the Miller Lite landing and out of here for William Contreras. A 2-run blast, and the Brewers lead it 5-1 here in the 7th. Home run number 9 on the season for Wild Bill. And he got all of it, 449 feet. And that thing almost flew through where the panels would be and all the way out to the parking lot. It hit something above that Miller Lite landing and ended up back down onto the field before it was all over.
Wild Bill's absolute missile home run, call courtesy of Lane Grindle and the Brewers Radio Network, is the most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress, connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. You know, I want more power, Trev. I keep saying, give me more power. That was just a shot.
I think there was a little bit of passion behind that.
Yeah, I'd say.
We want to help get the word out today. The Brewers posted over the weekend. This is yesterday. Please consider joining William Contreras, Jackson Churio, Nestor Corridor, and our Milwaukee community to aid in relief efforts for Venezuelan earthquake victims. If you go there, and Josh and I retweeted it, there is an emergency supply drive today happening at Blessed Sacrament Catholic Church in Milwaukee on 41st Street. They're collecting non-perishable foods, emergency supplies, and hygiene products starting at 12:30 today to help the victims of the 2 catastrophic earthquakes. If you missed it and you don't necessarily watch the news, which many don't, because it is unfortunately just horrible things all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The horror that is happening in Venezuela is horrifying. Almost 1,500 people have been killed by these 2 earthquakes, a 7.2 followed by a 7.5. William Contreras' home run and then post-game presser on Friday, if it didn't get you in the feels, I would like to think you have no feels, because that's real life stuff. And here he is, a Major League Baseball player, feeling guilty that he's not back home in his home country, helping literally friends find loved ones. Think about that.
I know. It's that's real life stuff. You know, we get in our feels about sports, but this is on a whole nother level.
Oh, we get in feels about sports, all right. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. It's not so much here, 920, that we're being hysterical. They are at their best record, and they never had this at the halfway point. Best ever. Yeah, agreed. All this is good stuff. But remember, the conversation leading up to this was, guys, it's not broken. They're winning. So how much do we mess with the clubhouse? And how much do we mess with what's happening right now? And if we really can't put our finger on the problem itself, that we know if this, then it will that, well, then I guess we kind of have to analyze what the best way to is. And so we're going to do that in the Malott Meets Morning Mind Dump. I wrote down, I think it's a bullpen arm. Yet Josh moments ago read 3 texts back to back to back that one said starting pitching, the other said a bat, and the other said a bullpen arm. I don't know if there's a way for everybody to be on the same page in life in general, but definitely on this.
Yeah.
But yet we can't ignore that the bullpen over the weekend, and to Josh's point earlier, is something that we are not confident in. And dare I say, I don't think they are either.
Yeah. No matter how you're looking at this, I don't know how you say everything is fine. If, the 906 said overreacting again, the Brewers are fine. They just beat themselves. It's all good, man. Yeah, they just beat themselves. If they continue to beat themselves, the season's not going to end the way we want it to. This is the time, and our optics and our outlook on this team have to change to prepare for October. We know we have the talent. We've got to fill these holes the best we can, though, if we think we have a legitimate shot.
Rhodey and I were talking yesterday. It was the halfway point. Literally, yesterday's game was the halfway point in the season. 81.
Mm-hmm.
The Brewers are 50-31. I remember being at this point last year, feeling a lot more confident. I feel like
I can tell you why that was.
Go ahead. I think we have the same reason. Go ahead.
We had a hell of a June.
Bingo.
Last year, we had the best month, I think, in the history of Brewers baseball I've ever been alive to witness.
We saw winning streaks, plural.
Mm-hmm.
And that helped us be very confident in the decisions that were being made with the team and also the players we were putting in. Do you feel confident in a lineup with Christian Yelich leading off? Do you feel confident in a lineup with Gary Sanchez behind home plate? Do you feel confident in a lineup with Bowers or Vaughn and not both? And that's been the hardest part about the Brewers in terms of their lineup, regardless of what's happening in the bullpen. You see different lineups over the weekend. You're like, God, that'd be a good thing for us to meet morning mind dump. What's the ideal lineup for the Milwaukee Brewers right now? If you were the skip and you were going to lead with this lineup, I don't know. How many games are left? 18, 17, 15 games between now and the All-Star break with no days off, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is a whole other thing.
Right.
That we have to manage leading to the All-Star break. What's the ideal lineup? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. When I see a lineup without Contreras, I go, well, that's immediately not the best lineup. Even with Sanchez behind home plate, who I am not a fast individual.
Sure.
I'm 43 years old. I blew my Achilles sprinting to first, if that gives you any idea how much my running cannot be depended on. Is Gary Sanchez the slowest human being on the planet?
I mean, if you are looking for a double play, he's the one that's going to give you the best shot if he doesn't get that base hit.
Was there anybody left yesterday to pinch hit for him in that moment? And of course, you want your biggest stick, one of your biggest sticks up with one out,
right
in the bottom of the 10th, and the bases loaded.
You're going to hear it. You're going to hear it at the. If you missed it at the start of the show, you'll hear it again at the top of the next segment. It sounded like all the stats told you this is the guy you want up to get a hit or a sac fly with one away.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. The Malott Meats Morning Mind Dump is next on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't God that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
This is going to be an exhilarating win and an excruciating loss on either side. Sanchez has a very good eye at the plate. Career bases loaded. He's been a beast. Brewers need it right now.
Base hit should end it.
2-2. Sanchez on the ground, third base. Out at second. Throw to first. Ball game. A double play to end the game. And the Cubs take the finale 4-3.
I'm the jinx. well.
There have been a lot of people, I don't want to talk about it, but there have been a lot of people this year that have said, why does it seem like when Jeff Levering is on the call, there's a lot more W's than when BA is on the call?
Oh, I did not notice that.
I've seen it. I've seen it a lot out there. I have not tracked it down. I don't see anyone, no stats man, that's been able to back it up. But I do feel like some frustrating calls this season have come from Brian Anderson.
Certainly Brian Anderson on the call. Okay, I don't like that at all. Audio courtesy of BA and Rock on Brewers TV, by the way. What's up, Wisconsin? Hi. Happy Monday-ish. Like, it's not so happy. Brewers tough one over the weekend against the Cubs. And that's the second out of the last third series where the Brewers have lost. And we're just frankly not used to this. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Inside Wisconsin Sports, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We know how to handle things like this, but if let's just say that the series were flipped and it would have went Cubs, Reds, Braves, and we lose the Braves series, I don't think we would feel this bad.
Yeah, I think it's part because we didn't. I think if we would have just lost one of the series, let's say we win the series against the Braves and then sweep the Reds and then lose the series to the Cubs, I think we can hang our hat by saying, hey, that sucks, but we said we need to go 6-3. We went 6-3. If it would have been the other way, we would have lost 2 out of 3 to the Braves, but then took 2 out of 3 from the Cubs. We go, yeah. So the Braves, I know we said was part of the test, but 6-3. The fact that we lost 2 of the 3 series, that's what's got us in our feels a little bit, in my opinion, on a Monday.
Even if we swept the Reds, even if 5-4 over the last 9 games, we wanted 6-3, but 5-4, and it doesn't feel good.
No, it doesn't at all.
Math? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I don't like it.
I know.
Time for the Malott Meets Morning Mind Up.
I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
The coffee is kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We got no food. We got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
It's time for the Morning Mind Dump, presented by Malott Meats. High-quality meats at a fair price, safely delivered to your front door. To learn more, visit WisconsinMeatMarket.com. Experience the power of the family meal with Malott Meats on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The 4th of July weekend is upon us, and that's why you got to head to WisconsinMeatMarket.com and check out the Grill Master Box and the Jumbo Grill Master Box. Whether you get one for the 4th of July at this point, irrelevant. You're going to want one of these for your later summer grill outs. It's either 8 or 12 hamburger patties, 8 or 24 hot dogs, 8 or 12 bratwursts. I don't know what you need at your barbecue, your tailgate, your birthday party, your backyard party, your summer party. That is what you need.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Amongst all the other things at WisconsinMeatMarket.com, experience the power of the family meal with Malat Meats. The Brewers family is a little busted up at the moment, even though it doesn't necessarily look that way when you give the 30,000-foot view to yourself. But over the weekend, there were some things that really went, oh boy, this is not good. The first one being this. The Brewers out-hit the Cubs by 10. 10 hits and lost the series. Milwaukee had 26 hits over the weekend. And Chicago only had 16, but Chicago outscored the Brewers 14-11. That is essentially the whole series in one sentence. And so if we look at runners in scoring position, the Brewers yesterday alone stranded 10. But I shared earlier in the show that I learned a new term. It's individual left on base. Essentially missed RBI chances. That number far greater. And the way they do this math is, let's just say as an example, runners are on first and second and nobody out. Batter A strikes out. Well, that person left 2 on base. Batter B pops out. That person left 2 on base. And batter C grounds out. Well, that person left 2 on base. And so it's RBI chances that are really what the Brewers need to be looking at, because look at the way the game ended yesterday. Gary Sanchez, a bat that we, I guess, would want up in that position.
Yep.
Couldn't even get one into the outfield to tie the game. Hit into a 5-4-3 double play.
I mean, literally the worst case scenario. You could have struck out and it would have been better than what happened.
And when we say 5-4-3 double play, that is typically one that takes a second and go, ooh, this is going to be close.
No.
Not even close. Gary Sanchez is very slow. And again, glass house. Josh, are you fast?
The opposite.
Yeah, same.
Right.
Do you think we have a chance in a foot race against Gary Sanchez?
Absolutely not.
I think I do.
I don't.
We're also not Major League Baseball players that get
there
paid
you
to
go.
be where you need
ding,
to be.
Ding, ding, ding. That's the correct answer.
So what's the real issue over the weekend? Specifically, let's just look at this series. Is the issue that we need bats at the right time? We talked about the woodpeckering earlier and it not necessarily being the way it needed to be. Or the other thing is the bullpen and how little, if any, confidence we have in the bullpen right now for us to be able to move the game forward without giving up the world.
I think I'm the Nicolay Law fan talking text line 414-677-1250. Mark and Eagle. I'm exactly where Mark and Eagle's in his feelings. I'm right there with him. He said, we are seeing over the last month why the rest of the league values power over the woodpeckers. It is really tough to string together multiple hits to get a single run. I think we need a bat for sure. That said, it won't change the way the team is built. So, yeah, this is what we need. I agree with him for the reason, 100%. I've stated that a few times. The woodpecker mentality works really well when it works. When you're in a tight spot, when you are slumping in your lineup, it's not going to work. We saw that way too often. People chiming in about 414 about Tommy's boy, Rake Bowers. That was a rough at bat. First pitch, foul pop out, knowing, again, same thing. Tie the game with a sac fly. Just literally could have won the game with 2 sac flies. That's where they were at.
Right.
So frustrating.
So let's dive into the lineup yesterday. We talked before the top of the hour. What is the ideal lineup for the Milwaukee Brewers right now? Josh, if you could pick 9, knowing that we would pick the Miz, but I'm not opposed to Woody. I'm not opposed to Harrison, but let's just say the ideal situation is Miz on the mound. I want to go down yesterday's lineup and just see from a hitting perspective how confident we are. And then I want to look at the pitchers that pitched yesterday and gauge the level of confidence we have in them versus what the lineup was yesterday.
Okay.
Can we all agree that Yelich looks ridiculous right now?
Yeah, he's not. I mean, he's not doing what we need from him for sure.
So for him to lead off in the DH spot, I don't know if that's the best lineup right now. Then you got Churio. I'm fine with it. Center field, right?
Sure.
Maybe not in that position, but at least he's in the lineup. Terang, second base. Everybody was super confident in him. Vaughn in the cleanup spot at first. We waited for him to come back for this reason. Bowers in left field. I like that. I like having Vaughn and Bowers in the lineup on the same day, no matter what.
Agreed.
Sanchez catching. No.
Contreras. You want Contreras.
Has to be.
Right.
This weekend aside, let's just remove ourselves from there's a chance Contreras just needed a day here in regard to everything that's going on in Venezuela, right? Pretty emotional night for him on Friday. So let's just say that's why. But in the ideal world, if there is a series deciding game, Contreras has got to be in there at catcher. And let's just hypothetically say he's not. He came in to pinch hit yesterday, didn't look good, popped out in foul territory in the right side of the field. Would you rather have Sanchez at DH than Yelich if Contreras is catching?
I don't know. Maybe right now, but it's not even they're both doing well, so I don't know. I don't know that I trust either one fully in that spot. I don't know.
So then what about right field? Sal Frelick.
Right. This is where it gets even more, oh boy.
Right.
What do we do?
Pratt at shortstop, I'm fine with. Hamilton at third over Ortiz. I think you flip a quarter, although I think Hamilton's throwing the ball a lot better from third than Joey is.
Sure.
But even if we still don't have the fix at third, we don't have Frelick where we need him to be in right. Blake Perkins is still on the team. He played a little bit over the weekend.
Yep. He had a nice double.
But the bats aren't necessarily on fire. But neither is the bullpen. Our starting pitching, back out of this for a hot second.
Yeah.
If we don't have Miz, Harrison, and Woody, and we'll see about Sproat pitching the way they are, we could be having a completely different conversation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been that way all year. It was supposed to be, all right, we're starting the season on a rough start, but our bullpen is ready to go. And we were expecting the starting rotation to not be great. The starting rotation has been pretty solid, if not the best part of the team all season long. It's been the bullpen that's been failing. And that's the tough part, is that I feel like consistently when you look at the reason why the Brewers have the losses they do over the whole season, I lean more towards the bullpen being at fault than the lineup. The lineup has definitely gone through a roller coaster of a season. Ups and downs, terrible downs, pretty great ups. But that's why I'm like, yeah, we can get a bat. We should get a bat. We need a bat. But I'm not expecting this lineup to be this bad the rest of the year. The bullpen has consistently blown games, whether it be with a 1-run lead, 2-run lead, 3-run lead. It seemed like no matter what that lineup, when they're hitting, they can still lose games because the bullpen blows it. That's a big issue, and that's been an issue all season long.
So you were there on Saturday.
Yep.
Kyle Harrison, 5 innings pitched, and then Chad Patrick comes in. And your first thought was what?
Oh, why is that happening? That was my initial thought. Then I saw that Harrison, what was his pitch count at? Harrison had thrown a lot of pitches through those 5 innings.
92.
Yeah. So I think that they looked at it and they went, it also wasn't like he hadn't given up anything, right? There were runs on the board. It was a tie game, I believe, at the point where they left when he exited the game. So it had me going, okay, I don't love this, but also Harrison wasn't dealing the way that he needed to. I would have loved him to have, 80 pitches going into the 6th and not have been hit as well as he was.
92 pitches in 5, and then Patrick comes in and throws 30 pitches, gives up 4 earned runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, 1 home run, and 2/3 of an inning. And then Grant Anderson comes in, gives up another run, pitches 1 1/3, Koenig, and then Kunal to close out the game. Cubs 8, Brewers 2. When we look at yesterday, it was a bit of a different story. We had who we thought we wanted to have in order in yesterday's game. 5 2/3 from Woody. In comes Aaron Ashby, then Uribe, then McGill. We've said that is the recipe for success. Or not.
Or not.
And it's Ashby, which we didn't necessarily see. I mean, look at all the wins he had earlier in the season. That was a guy that we very much could depend on. There's going to be ebbs and flows of a baseball season, but I guess if we're just, as Brewers fans, taking a step back, it feels very different.
On the YouTube stream here, you can see Jake said, Luis Lara at third. Our bullpen will be fixed when we get Logan Henderson back. He had a rehab start, which was great.
Good.
Then we put Sproat and Drowan as long relief pitching. We're right back in this.
Oh, do you think Henderson takes Sproat's spot in the starting rotation?
100%. I thought that from the beginning. I've been waiting for Henderson to get back because he was absolutely dealing before he got injured. The bigger issue.
Why not Gasser? Hold on. Why Sproat?
Oh, yeah, it could be Gasser. I don't know. Either way, I think bringing Henderson back in, if he's dealing, and having Woody the way he's, if our starting pitching is dealing the way that they are, and we can add another in that, I'm on board with this argument of that helps the bullpen, right? More of these guys. The only thing is, did we not also say that about Chad Patrick? Were we not saying that, hey, Chad Patrick was a guy that was starting games, but he's a great arm that we can move to the pen? He has not been great out of the pen. And so then I'm sitting here going, maybe that's not necessarily the solution. I can tell you the one thing that I have about it is Lara's not the third baseman. Bringing up Luis Lara is not the solution that all of us think it's going to be. Just like Pratt hasn't been. Like with these young guys, that takes time. That's why I said even when Pratt was struggling, it's okay as long as they're winning. Have him get more at bats and win games. It would be the same thing with Lara.
At the start of the season, literally right at the start, before we even started playing baseball, Rhodey and I talked about Chad Patrick. And I statistically went to bat for him. And I, unbeknownst to myself, rage baited a 16-year-old. Bad idea. That ended poorly that evening. We went at it. I had Chad Patrick's back. And for a lot of the season so far, this was one of those, okay, like he looked good in relief. But man, has that changed. And so yesterday, I had to say the 3 worst words that you ever say to one of your children when in regard to a debate like that. You were right.
Ooh.
Bad.
Yep, you had to admit it.
He was at the point where Chad Patrick is trash. Okay. You were right. But now what? So you're on the right now, Josh, a bat or relief pitching?
I'm still going to lean bat. And I'm going to lean bat because I think there are more variables with pitching. I think that when we get Henderson back, that can influence some things. I think that, we still have arms. I just don't know necessarily we're using them the right way. I think that sometimes we've been scratching our head this season on the moves from the bullpen to where if we get more solidified roles and when those guys are pitching, we might see more success. But we'll also see more success when it's not a super tight one-run game. And so I think a bat makes a bigger impact all around than one bullpen pitcher.
Can I mind dump about one more thing quick?
Yeah.
I don't think we got to this earlier, did we? Should we be offended that Canada has a head coach from Wisconsin? Did you see this?
No.
So World Cup, Canada won. They're on to the Sweet 16, I guess we'll call it.
Okay.
Their coach is from Wisconsin.
Huh.
How?
I don't know enough about the rules of the World Cup to know what's allowed and not allowed. But I don't know. What happened to patriotism? Are you supposed to? Yeah, but I mean, so he's still a Wisconsinite. If the USA gets eliminated, are you not going to cheer for Canada because he's coaching them?
Well, when you put it like that.
Okay. So listen,
it's not as fun.
I'm not worrying about soccer or Canada right now. I'm worried about a damn bullpen pitcher or a bat.
Well, then let's review the good, the bad, the ugly from over the weekend. Shocker, a lot of Brewers conversation here. What was good? What was bad? What was ugly? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. We'll do that next from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network is proudly outfitted by Burghardt Sporting Goods, our official apparel partner. Outfit your team or company with custom apparel today at BSG1881.com.
Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on a Monday, where we review the good, the bad, and the ugly over the weekend that was Wisconsin sports. How many sports played this weekend? Just one.
Mm-hmm.
How'd it go?
Not great, Bob.
Not great. There was one really good point to the weekend, though, and I'm wondering if people realize this. Did you see the line that Miz put up on Friday night? 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 8 strikeouts. There's not a team in this league that wouldn't look at that and go, thank you.
Yeah, we'll take that. Yep.
And yet for Miz, in comparison to how dominant he is, by the way, that's domination. Giving up a run and walking 4 is like, oh, we can't even depend on him. No. Actually, yeah, that was a really, really good outing by Miz on Friday night.
Yeah, it was a situation where we were going, was something wrong? Something wrong with Miz? Seems a little off tonight. Talk about being spoiled. Whew.
If by off you mean 105.5?
Seriously.
In real life. A human being other than Aroldis Chapman threw 105.5 on Friday night. Remember when Pat McAfee was going to donate something if he hit 104?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there was some sort of bet on that.
Right.
105. The 2 faster pitches by Chapman, 105.7 and 105.9, I believe.
8, I think it was. Yeah. Yep.
2 or 3 away from the fastest thrown ball in human history.
Right. Bonkers.
Woof.
Yeah. And yet, in that game, it was, we were all sitting there going, hey, offense, can you get to Colin Ray, please? Colin Ray, remember him? Brewer? Well, now he's starting and pitching super well and against the Brewers, against the Miz. Why isn't this a Brewers up by 3 in the 6th game? Had to get him out of the game before they could really open it up on Friday.
The Brewers had 11 hits on Friday night. The Cubs, a mere 3. And that's a game that the Brewers won 6-2. I say that because it's not the only time that the Brewers had more hits than the Cubs this weekend and lost the next 2.
Mm-hmm.
But we're still in the good. There is Sorry. Lost myself.
No, I'm with you. It's hard to stay there.
Stay in the good. Venezuela, not good. Opportunity to do good today exists in Milwaukee, starting at 12:30 at Blessed Sacrament Catholic Church on 41st Street. Nestor Corridor, William Contreras, Jackson Churio are having a emergency supply drive. It is not just a food drive, although they're looking for non-perishable food items for sure. They're looking for emergency supplies like sleeping bags, new ones, please, new tents, new cots, new air mattresses, suitcases, blankets, backpacks. I mean, the list goes on. Josh and I both shared it on our Twitters.
Mm-hmm.
Go there and check it out and see if you can't lend a helping hand and do some good today. Hygiene products are on the list. It all starts at 12:30 today. And props to William Contreras, who put this out on his Twitter. To our Milwaukee community, we invite you to join us in supporting Venezuela through this donation drive. Our goal is to come together and help those who need it most. We hope to see you there. Every donation, no matter the size, can make a meaningful difference. But he had to say this, and I guess I get it, but it's a bummer that he even had to say it. So please, for the love of God, if you happen to go out there today, don't be that person. William Contreras says, please note, this is not a photo or autograph event. The sole purpose of this gathering is to support this humanitarian cause. This is not about baseball. This is not about the Milwaukee Brewers. This is not about those 2 and or 3 people along with Nestor being a part of the organization. These are human beings who have loved ones back in the country that are suffering mightily, and we have the opportunity to do some good by them today, starting at 12:30 at Blessed Sacrament Catholic Church on 41st in Milwaukee.
Yeah, well said. It's a good opportunity for us to take a step back and realize too that there are a lot bigger things going on than baseball, and when you have players that are making effort to do that, especially in this stretch of baseball, because it's weighing on their minds, show support. Show support. Go show those guys, yeah, hey, we're here with you too.
On that note, let's talk about how bad Chad Patrick is.
Yeah, okay.
He was supposed to be the Swiss Army knife of this pitching staff. Murph, hey, can you start, Chad? You got it, Murph. How about you come in relief? You're the first guy after the opener. You got it, Murph. Maybe some bridge innings later in the game. You got it, Murph. Can you save? Maybe, but I'll try, Murph. How about nothing?
Yeah, how about none of the above? Really, really rough. Really rough outing. And this isn't the first time, right? Everything is amplified because it was the Cubs. But this is also not the first time we've been in this position with Patrick. Honestly, like I mentioned earlier in the show, I don't think that there's really a situation for us to say there's a first time with anyone in the bullpen. There's been examples of the bullpen struggling across the board. Again, the Chad Patrick one just gets exposed more because he lost the game to the Cubs on Saturday.
And it's not the first time, though, especially in the last 7 games. Let's look at this from a season statistical standpoint. Chad Patrick right now is 5-4 with a 3.9 ERA. He's pitched in 23 games, started 6 of them, 4 saves, 62 and a third innings pitched, and 52 strikeouts. Not bad.
Yeah.
The last 7 games, an 11.81 ERA, 15 hits, 14 earned runs, 7 walks, and that's only in 10 and a half innings.
Yeah. Just brutal ugliness. And it's just, these are the guys that I'm sitting here, I'm scratching my head going, how could all of the preseason thoughts and rankings and everything that had the Brewers bullpen being the best in baseball, lights out, have been this wrong? What happened? What is happening with the mental game, the physical game of our bullpen that made it this different from what was supposed to happen on paper?
Well, I have an idea.
Okay.
It's because we don't have a true bullpen. There's 13 pitchers on the Brewers staff as of yesterday on the current 26-man active roster. Woody, 1, Miz, 2, Sproat, 3, Harrison, 4, and we'll call Gasser a starter. That's 5. So then in the bullpen of 13, we have Chad Patrick, Aaron Ashby, Trevor McGill, Abner Uribe, Jared Koenig, Grant Anderson. Those 6. Well, Trev, that's not 13. You're right. It's because 2 of the bullpen spots right now are being taken up by Robert Gasser and Shane Drowan, and then obviously Joe Kuhnel there in late, I call them BS innings, like the Brent Suter innings. Although not last night. Last night was an inning that we really needed him to shine. In normal years, the Robert Gasser and Shane Drowan spots in the bullpen were actually bullpen spots.
Sure.
Not who's going to start between the two of you now. And so is that why, Josh? Do we not have the spots open? And that's open in the bullpen because we have too many guys that are up right now that we're depending on as starters?
I don't know. But I will say, I feel like, again, on paper, looking at the stuff that we have from the guys in the bullpen, if you said Aaron Ashby's stuff, can he get you 2 innings? You'd go, absolutely. Look at what this guy can do. You'd say the same thing about Chad Patrick. You can look at the guys that we have in there. When we struggled with Uribe and McGill, these guys have the talent. You're not asking them to go 6 or 7 innings. You're asking him to go 1-2. Maybe it's not the same inning every night. Maybe it's not consistently one night every 3 days, but you're asking him to get 3 to 6 outs. We don't have guys on this team that we go, well, yeah, he doesn't throw the ball really that well, and his command's kind of iffy. Like, these guys on paper are guys that any team should want in their bullpen. And yet, it's just been struggle bus city for way too much of the season.
If you would have told me at the beginning of the season that not having Chad Priester?
No, Quinn
Priester. Chad Patrick.
Yep.
Two top of mind. Quinn Priester, Logan Henderson, Angel Zerpa, and DL Hall. If you would have said that is going to make or break how you feel about pitching in regard to relief for the Brewers, I would have been like, okay. A bit of a stretch.
Yeah. You also would have said, oh boy, how terrible is the season if that's the problem. If I'm relying on those guys.
And here we are, 50-31.
Right.
Somebody on the Nicolay Law talking text line, 414-677-1250, said, you guys are killing me this morning. Nope, actually, the Brewers are killing us. We're just the messenger. The hardest part about this is that, yes, it has been so far a great season for the Brewers. There's not been a terrible amount to complain about, yet when we implode, we implode.
Yeah,
right?
and everything's amplified because of the Cubs.
No, that's a part of the ugly.
You're reacting, you and I both, I'm saying, as fans, we are reacting much stronger to this than I did to the Braves. And those Braves losses were frustrating too.
I didn't like those at all. I was fearful that it was a sign. You know what's really going to be a sign? The next 4 games.
Mm-hmm. Darn right.
If we can't rebound and remind the Reds that we just swept them now that they're here for 4 games in Milwaukee at AmFam Field starting tonight, you think we have questions before.
Oh, yeah. Then big doubt sets in.
There's a lot of ugly from the weekend. Runners in scoring position is one, and apparently Cubs and Brewers fans fighting. Somebody mentioned earlier that they saw some things on the way out of AmFam Field yesterday that they should just not see. We'll talk about that when we get back as we review the weekend here in Wisconsin. That was good, bad, and downright ugly. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. We're back in a bit from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Hey, do you want to score free Wendy's Frosty Classics this summer? Well, when the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, proud High A affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers, record 10 strikeouts in a game, you can go to any Wisconsin Wendy's and get a free small Frosty Classic. Follow the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers on Twitter and Instagram as they post after every game with 10 strikeouts. This offer is good for 24 hours following the game, so don't delay and go to Wendy's after every game.
Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on a Monday, when we review the good, the bad, and the ugly from the weekend that was Wisconsin sports. Josh and I had great conversation during the break, which we often go, save it. Hold on.
Yeah, right.
Save it. This is the realization as we kind of look at the ugly here and talk about runners in scoring position and all the arguments about in the bad with the bullpen and not having the bats and so on and so forth. But this might be the best way to sum it up. Last June, all of Major League Baseball, Josh, was talking about the Milwaukee Brewers.
Mm-hmm. They were saying, will they ever lose again?
This season, not so much, although they probably should be. 50-31 is, last I checked, pretty good for the midway point.
Yep, and they had a hell of a May.
We're not looking at this weekend outside of anything other than, can you prove to me that we can beat the Dodgers in the playoffs? Can you prove to us that we don't have to worry about the Cubs or worry about the Braves or worry about the Phillies? Can we just show that we have the ability to put it together when we need to put it together? Because it's the opposite right now, and that feels ugly.
Yeah, I think that's fans want to live in the moment. I get it. It's hard not to, but try to for a second take yourself back to how we felt at the end of last season. We had the best season in such a long time.
Yeah,
as Brewers fans, and yet we couldn't get one game notched as a W in the LCS, and that has us going, okay, the goal next year has to be, how do you get past the Dodgers? Winning is fun. We've watched them win, even though it's been different than it was last year. We're watching them win and be dominant. But are we pushing ourselves to where we feel this team needs to be to get over the hump of the Dodgers? No.
You remember how the end of the regular season felt last year? And I was trying to justify it up, down, left, and right.
Mm-hmm.
It was 500 baseball. It's good. We're fine. Everything's fine.
Yep.
Not fine. Not fine.
No.
I was wrong.
No. Well, thank you for admitting that. Yeah.
You're welcome. I'm on a bit of a streak with that apparently lately.
Yeah, that's good.
Twice. Don't get your hopes up. But that's what it feels like right now. It feels like that's the team that we're watching, was the one that finished the regular season last year, that had to take the Cubs series to 5 and then just literally didn't show up in the NLCS at all.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. And in order for us to not feel that way come the playoffs, we can't be feeling like that now. Good news, we have an entire second half of the season to try to figure it out. And baseball's streaky.
Yeah.
We haven't necessarily had that streak yet where we go, good luck beating us.
Well, I don't know that's, I mean, we haven't had a streak of 8 or 9 games. We just keep winning series, which we keep saying is what's most important, right? Now we've lost 2 series out of the last 3. So now we're going, okay. And more importantly, the 2 series we lost were against the Braves and the Cubs. 2 teams that it's very, very likely we're going to see down the road. And so, again, I'm not sitting here trying to be a Debbie Downer going, this season's over, everything's terrible, they lost to the Cubs, what's the point of life? I'm not doing that. But I'm pointing out the frustration isn't even with this series. It's the examples that we saw against the Braves and the examples we saw against the Cubs of why they lost those series. And it makes us say, okay, based on that, how are we feeling for October? Do we feel like we got the stuff? Are you sitting in your chair right now going, oh boy, this October is going to be different? You better watch out, Major League Baseball. The Brewers figured it out. They took that loss last year and said, that ain't happening again. Watch this. Because if you are, I want to hear from you. Because that's what I'm not seeing. And that's what's frustrating.
and this is the worry. Yes, we're home for 4 against the Reds, but we then play 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games all on the road before the All-Star break, including, 5 games in St. Louis because we have the doubleheader. That's a lot of Central Division games.
Yep.
Just lost the series to the Cubs, got the Reds for 4, the St. Louis Cardinals for a mittful. Then they go play at Pittsburgh on the road in Arizona, St. Louis, and Pittsburgh to close out this god-awful long set of games with no off day. Those are the moments where if we're going to be the team that we need to be at the end of the season, these are the moments that we cannot cripple in. And after the Cubs series, and again, Josh said this earlier, this is magnified because it's the Cubs. It's magnified because it was the Cubs at AmFam Field this weekend where that place was filled with Cubs fans, and we couldn't do what we needed to do. And so our meter is a little high. I wish I would have spent some time yesterday checking in with our guys on the Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show. Good news, we get to check in with one of them here at the top of the hour. Tim Allen typically has a way of comforting us. Tim Allen also is at Tim Allen Rants for a reason. I'm not sure which Tim Allen we're going to get this morning. I didn't watch and or listen to the post-game show yesterday, had other stuff going on. But I would imagine things aren't exactly well.
No, I would like to see, was he able to sleep on it? We'll see if that changed things.
414-677-1250. Continue your feedback on the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. Tim Allen, the franchise himself, will join us at the top of the hour. If you have questions, he has answers because we're fresh out. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. It's going to be okay. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
This is going to be an exhilarating, an excruciating loss on either side. Sanchez has a very good eye at the plate. Career bases loaded. He's been a beast. Brewers need it right now.
Base hit should end it.
2-2. Sanchez on the ground, third base. Out at second. Throw to first. Ball game. A double play to end the game. And the Cubs take the finale 4-3.
Audio courtesy BA, The Rock, Bill Schroeder, Brian Anderson, Brewers TV. Going down in flames at the end of the game yesterday.
Okay, we're like hour 3, and I don't feel better about it.
No, not yet. I think he might make us feel better, though. He might. Inside Wisconsin Sports, Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And joining us now to hopefully make us feel better on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. The franchise himself, Tim Allen. Timmy, will you please hold our hand because we are not
well. All bad things will pass. You put them in the rear view mirror as best you can. And the positive would be you're at the mathematical halfway mark. You're 50-31. You are 19 games over 500. You're sitting sort of comfortably. You're a better baseball team than anybody else in your division. That's fact. So there's some, you've won 4 of 6 against the Cubs. You've won 4 of your last 6 games in general. Those are all good things to focus on. And this, and as a crusher loss as it was, I mean, you look over on the other side and you find all those good little tidbits. The Brewers pitching staff in their last 6 starts, the starting rotation, historically good in terms of ERA and amount of strikeouts versus the amount of hits. Historically good. Those are all good things. Now the offense, that's an entirely different story.
Well, and so Timmy, before we get into the details of the game and the series in general, the big question we've been discussing all day is it seems like the question of what the Brewers need has been dialed in a little bit more, but we've been debating, and so have the listeners all morning. If you could only get one, which is most important right now, bullpen or a bat?
Oh, it's definitely the bullpen. I don't even think it's close.
Oh.
I mean, this offense is going to be better. They're going to find a way to make this thing better. Maybe not necessarily better, but more consistent. I mean, I talked about it yesterday, and Tommy and I on the post-game show have been talking about. There's stretches even when the Brewers score, it's just so painful. It just is almost and you scored, and we're supposed to be happy about that. But you have bases loaded and 1 out in a particular game, and you end up scratching out a run. You have second and third with no outs, end up not scoring at all or scratching out a run. Think about this. In the Brewers' last 12 games, they've scored 48 runs. That math is easy. That's 4 a game. Is that good? Not great. Is it horrible? It's not horrible. However, this is where run differential can be deceiving in baseball. And I'm not a big fan of run differential. I just, in the grand scheme of things, okay, fine. You outscore your opponents by 100 runs or whatever. That's fine, and you can point to it as an ultimate positive. However, in the last 12 games, those 48 runs. Now shave 4 of those 12 off. You've scored 30 of your 48. That leaves 18 left in the other 8 games. 2 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs, 3 runs, and 3 runs. Yet the run differential looks okay. See the difference here? That's where this team needs to be more consistent. Murphy's been saying it. I'm not being negative. Not at all. That's the reality of it. They're not consistent. They'll put up a snowman in an inning and then go a couple of games averaging 2.3 runs a game. Yeah, you have to get more consistent. And I don't know what the answer is. You know, it's not a good thing that Bryce Terang was at one point in the series 0 for 10. And then he finally came up with a couple of knocks, and they were, blue hits, but we'll take them. I don't know if it's a lineup thing. I'm not sure if it's a more consistent lineup where you just leave those guys alone. You get a win, just leave it be for a while. Just see what happens forget about lefty righty, let Vaughn play. And just real quick on Vaughn on this offense. I know a lot of people want him in there every day because they look at his numbers, and they look great. There's no question. But one could make the argument that Murphy has those numbers beefed up because of the way he uses him. So we have to keep that in mind. It's just not an automatic that Vaughn is going to be in there doing the same damage and hitting for the same batting average or on base that he would be used the way he's used now. So we have to be careful with that. But I don't have the answer. I would think it would be a consistent Jackson Chourio. This is what I do. Jackson Chourio is my leadoff hitter, period. It's just it doesn't matter who's out there. I don't care if it's a veteran, a rookie, a lefty, or a righty, guy that kicks the ball over the plate. It doesn't matter to me. Throw Christian Yelich in that 2-hole. Then go with Contreras. And Terang's got to move out. He's hitting around, well, now he put it back up to, 255 or whatever it is. But he was touching 250. He's been on a skid the last month.
Tim Allen, Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. It's Josh and I, self-admittedly anxious fellas.
Correct.
If you were going to point our anxiety about this team in a particular direction, just to focus on this, because whether it's the lineup that you were just talking about, or Christian Yelich right now, or Bryce Terang, or the bullpen, or even Harrison having 90-plus pitches in 5 innings on Saturday night, there's a lot that we could be ho-hum about, yet we understand where we're at halfway through the season. However, Josh and I talked earlier in the show that we're not looking at this about what happened this weekend. We're looking for things that are going to make us as Brewers fans confident that if we meet the Cubs or the Phillies or the Braves or the Dodgers in the playoffs, that we have a just as good ability to beat them as they have to beat us. Yet we don't feel that way. So if you could pinpoint where we should focus our anxiety, what would it be?
I think you have to look at they win games. And in those 12 games that I was referring to, they're 7-5. It's not like they're 4-8. I mean, they got a winning record through those 12 games of offense, and that then leads to the pitching. The starting rotation has been way impressive. I mean, it's been off the charts good. And now we're halfway through here, and you talk about Kyle Harrison working up that pitch count. The league will adjust to Miz and Harrison and ultimately Woody as well. They're going to adjust to them. So this is a pivotal time that they still enjoy success. 6 innings of 1 or no run ball is really good. I don't care if your name is Mizorowski, Scherzer, or whoever, Ohtani. It doesn't matter. That's a good performance because, let's face it, that Cub team knew their backs were against the wall. They had to win this series. They did, and they proved it by the amount of pitches they fouled off. They were grinders in this series. I think that Cub offense wanted it way more in this series, and they ended up getting it. Luckily, they got a little luck there. But that starting rotation, I mean, Woody opens up an entirely new dynamic of conversation. It is, if he's going to go out there and do what he's done his last 2 starts, the Brewers are in great shape in their front 3. I would put that front three with Woody the way he's pitching right now. I'll put that front three up against anyone in baseball. Anybody. Those guys are legit good. Don't just think they're Brewers and they'll come back down to earth and things like that. No, we're halfway. Sample size. Look at sample size. Baseball is measured in big pieces of time. This is a pretty big piece of time here. 81 games. You're looking at a starting rotation with that front three. So who's going to emerge as the 4 and 5 and be, they don't have to be dominating, but they have to be competitive, which is what they've done all year long. This young staff, they've been competitive. You're in every single game. I could count on a few fingers how many times the Brewers have been blown out. They just don't get blown out. Why? Because of their pitching. So on the 4 or 5, or in case of an injury, who's going to emerge? Well, you have a lot to choose from. Sprout, maybe emerging as we speak. He's been pretty good. Shane Drowan. Is it Robert Gasser? Is it Logan Henderson who's going to pitch at AAA tonight? You get a guy that steps up. Now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and you start jockeying for position down the line. So this starting rotation is something to behold. They've been really, really good. I don't know if I've been giving them as much credit as I should.
Plain and simple question here, Timmy. Who do you trust from the bullpen?
Ashby, Uribe, and McGill. And I know Ashby's been scuffling a little bit, but once they get that hammer reliever in the back end, because they will, I haven't felt this confident in an acquisition in a long time. That is a missing link. It's because now whether that's a closer and it bumps McGill to the 8th, Uribe to the 7th, and Ashby to the 5, 6, 7 inning range, which is where he should be. I think there's been a lot of high leverage situations for Ashby there. And I think he's more of a Swiss Army knife type guy that can go 6 innings, 7th inning. If someone flames out after 4 2/3 or 4 1/3, he can bridge that gap to those 3 hammers. And I say 3 because they're going to get one. I don't know if it's Chapman, because if you're the Boston Red Sox, would you even answer the phone if the Brewers called? I know I wouldn't, because they've been taken on a couple of trades, easily taken. So I don't know if it's Chapman, but it's going to be someone. And I'm not even saying it's a closer. It could be a 7th, 8th inning guy about the caliber of a Uribe. I feel pretty good still about those back 3. Now, here's another quandary. You go with a 6-man rotation, that limits you in the bullpen. So now you're only going with 7 guys in that bullpen. And are we seeing a little overworked Ashby? Probably. That's we're probably paying the price on that. But that's a big reason. He's a big reason why the Brewers are 19 games over 500.
Yeah, Josh and I talked about that earlier, that there seems to be at least one spot, if not 2, that are currently being taken up in the bullpen with starters versus somebody that would be able to come in relief. And one of them that we had questions on in the beginning of the season was Chad Patrick, who apparently got his fob turned off to get him into the pitching lab. What are we going to do about him?
Yeah, Murph said it on Saturday. He said he's certain that Chad Patrick will be back. And he didn't mean back by, sending him to the minors, back to being successful. I agree. It's a rough patch for Chad Patrick. And, now I understand why Murphy several weeks ago had said that his concern was a big league breaking ball for him. And that's the target there. Again, we could pick apart all of this in terms of walks. I don't have much patience for walks. You watched Kunal yesterday, 11 balls out of the zone. I mean, I hate to be hard on the dude. And, it's a nice story and all that. And they picked him up off the scrap heap. But Joel, if you can't throw strikes, man, you got to go. I'm sorry. And he knows that. Chris Hook knows that. Henderson, they all know that. The walks are going to kill. Look at Chad Patrick, how that inning was set up on Saturday. The Brewers had a lead in the 6th inning. And Chad Patrick had 2 out and everything was rosy. And we're looking at the offense. Hey, put up a crooked number. You take this game, take the series. What happens? Consecutive walks with 2 outs. And they open up the floodgates for a 4-run rally. Game over. Series tied. You can't have guys that can't throw strikes. And that to me is pretty telling in that bullpen, which is different than the last how many years. We're not used to this. We as Brewer fans, we're not used to having a bullpen that struggles a little bit. I mean, you go all the way back to this, Hader and Knable and Jeffress and all these guys. I mean, we're just not used to it. So they'll get it together and they'll get another arm back there. Now on the offensive side, just real quick, I don't know if you guys caught the show yesterday. I was beside myself. I need to do a little investigation to see if a red light, a take sign is still existing in baseball. I'm not sure it is. I think they leave it way too much on the players at times. Maybe it does. I don't know. I'm going to have to ask. I'm going to have to ask some players and or coaches or a manager. Does the take sign, mandatory take sign, still exist? Or do you do this, hey, be smart out there? Okay, you hear that in a lot of high school and travel ball. Hey, 31, be smart out there. Be smart. It's a 3-1 count. 31, No, I don't leave it up to him. This dude can't throw strikes. You're taking right here because I'm going to gamble. And you hate taking the bat out of players' hands. And I understand that concept also. These guys are grown men. They're there for a reason. And, they're allegedly smart in baseball. But when you had a situation yesterday, bases loaded and nobody out, and this dude can't throw strikes, you have to have a team at bat. And by that, I mean a team at bat means you have to accept strike one. At some point in this at bat, you cannot swing until you get strike one on you. What happens? Bowers on the first pitch, Sanchez on the second pitch swung at it and fouled it. And again, it may have been a ball on the Sanchez that he fouled. You have to take, and I'm more shocked with Bowers on the first pitch.
Mm-hmm.
I called it selfish, and I'm gonna stay with that. They were selfish in that they wanted to win that ball game right then and there. And again, though, on the other side, guys, from a baseball standpoint, been doing this a long time. It's really tough to take the bat out of their hands. 1-0 count versus an 0-1 count. The numbers are drastic, and I understand that. But I think you have to roll with in the moment, in the situation. That situation dictated a team at bat. It just did. No one's going to change my mind on that. That should have been take till you get a strike. Your at bat starts. And the Bowers thing, Bowers has made a living out of going 0-2 to 3-2. He's a worker. He's a grinder. He's got a great eye at the plate. Heavy counts almost every at bat. That shocked me. That shocked me yesterday.
All right, last one for me, Timmy. On top of how frustrating those 2 losses were on Saturdays and Sunday, were definitely the fact of hearing those cheers and seeing in the crowd those pan shots of Cubs fans continuing to take over AmFam. What were your thoughts on that? And are we just reaching the point to where if there's something else that Brewers fans can do, they're going, you know what, I'm not dealing with Cub fans. I'm staying home, or I'm going to Summerfest, or I'm finding something else to do?
Yeah, it's twofold, Josh. It is. It's twofold. One is I'm not dealing with all those Cub fans. But the reason they're there is because of money. I mean, I'm not going to dictate to someone else how they sit around their table or grab their phone and pay their bills and, make money and have expendable income for entertainment, and how they buy a half-season package or a full-season package and recoup X percentage back if they just get rid of all their home Cub dates. I can't. I don't know, but I can't see if you're in an economic situation that is good enough in your household to buy those tickets in the first place. That means you have that, at least that much expendable money. How much additional money can you make by selling those Cub tickets? I don't have the answer to it. I'd have to talk to someone that has done it. I mean, maybe they spend, on average for their season tickets, for good seats, $80 a seat throughout the season, 81 dates. It's a lot of money. How much can you recoup in kicking back, especially on weekends, kicking back to Cub fans? I don't know. Can you get $200 a seat for the good seats? That recoups then what, 3 times the amount that recoups 3 of your season ticket games. So I don't have the answer, but I think it's both. I think it's, one, they don't want to deal with the Cub fans, and two, they just see dollar signs. And the more the Cubs do this and compete at American Family Field, the worse it's going to get, because they went away. Cub fans didn't come up here for a while, did they? 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. This is just since council. And the Cubs, let's not make a mistake about it. I hate saying it. They're a decent team. They're ravaged by injuries. Well, I'm going to fill in for Sparky this week. I'm going to get Bruce Levine on from Chicago and just see how he sees the team. I think they're pretty good, and got to be careful. It's a 5.5 game lead for sure. Just keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, to answer your question, twofold: money, and they don't want to deal with the Cub fans who have been behaving themselves, I've heard.
Tim Allen, yeah, we heard the opposite. Not so.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Just running their mouth. All right, so that's behind us. Thank you for your help. It did help. Now take us forward as we let you go here. We're overstaying our welcome with you, but thank you as always for joining us. We have
They're
4 against Cincinnati.
Team, Trevor. They're
What's
good.
That?
They're a good baseball team. The Brewers are one of the best teams in the league. I know we want to win a certain way. We do. I think that's a natural reaction. It's like watching the Packers play. I don't know. Pick a bad team. Browns or whoever, the Raiders, and you win 13-7. And then you put on post-game shows, and it's like they lost. And wait a second. Well, let's start with a win. And the mark of a good to great team is winning baseball or football games when you're not playing. You're not going to play your best all season long, but you win games. As I said, the offense has not been healthy here for half a month, as I just pointed out at the start of our conversation. Well, what happened? They're 7-5 in those 12 games. They're winning. They're +2 in that. That's the thing. They're a really good baseball team, and they will get better by twofold. They'll acquire, and organically they're going to get better as you move along here. Just that offense is way better than they're showing here the last 2 or 3 weeks. They just are. I'm going to still stay with that, and I know it's half a season, but some of the metrics point out that there's been a little bad luck. There has been. No excuse, but there's been some bad luck. Line shots at people and hard hit balls and, bad calls and things like that. And, just end on this. They're one of the best teams in the league, and it sucked losing 2 or 3 to Chicago. But all told, they're 4-2 against that team down there.
And there's 4 at home against the Reds, and then 11 in 10 days on the road.
Yikes.
So if there's something as we close out that you need to see in those 11 games in 10 days on the road, Tim, in order for us to go into the All-Star break, to feel good about what's coming, are there a couple benchmarks that you got to go, all right, we got to get the bullpen back. We got to start hitting. What do you expect?
That's the hitting. Just level that off a little bit. Don't back up a 9-run output with an entirely different lineup, and then you score 2. Because that's what's happened in this run. There's 2 of those 12 games, you put up 9 runs. The very next day, you put up 2. So you have to level that off. I would look for that. It seems like they're pressing a little bit. I know you can try too hard. Sometimes it's a relaxed state of mind that shows success in baseball. So maybe they are pressing just a little bit, first and third, nobody out, and you're looking for a big inning. And, well, they minimized the damage, the other guys did, and at least they scored one run, and we move on to the fourth inning. Brewers are up 1-0. I mean, that's got to change. You got to have some crooked numbers in there. That's what I'm looking for. The confidence level on the starting rotation is so competitive. Man, they are so competitive. You look up almost on a nightly basis, and holy crap, 3 1/3, and they only allowed 1 run so far. Or 5 2/3, there's only 2 runs on the board. That, coupled with that offense picking it up just a little bit, will improve that bullpen. That bullpen's been on a tremendous, because of the offense. They're connected. Because these games are so close, that bullpen, there's so much pressure. A guy gives up 1 run. Ashby gives up 1 run, and we want to kill him. I mean, no, I mean, they're just magnified there because of the offense. That offense should have won that game yesterday in the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings.
Tim Allen, you can join him after the last pitch on the Potawatomi Sportsbook baseball postgame show on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. We appreciate you, Timmy.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
The guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law, 1 call. That's all. I mean, I feel better.
Yeah. I mean, he's still heated. He still understands how frustrating it was, but he makes you realize you got to move on. This team's still a good team. We just, again, we got to find a way for them to fill those gaps, fill those holes.
When we come back, what was the highlight of your weekend? I feel like there's some shirt nerd gathering stories that we haven't been able to get to quite yet today as we cry in our Cheerios a little bit.
Sure.
We'll share them next, and yours. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Hey, folks, don't forget you can watch Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on the Growth Law video stream on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, all at WI Sports Radio. Injured, Growth gets it.
Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Asking you what the highlight of your weekend was. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. It's been a morning of in our fields in regard to the Milwaukee Brewers. So what was the highlight of the weekend? Josh, I know that there was a big convention of shirt nerds here in Milwaukee and going to the game and Summerfest and all of this, but apparently I have questions.
Yeah. Yep. Go ahead.
Alex from Antioch said the highlight of the weekend was watching Josh bring a full 8x12 tray of mac and cheese into AmFam Field and then proceed to eat it at the game. Huh?
Okay. First, I didn't eat the whole thing. Okay. All right.
How'd you get away with this? What am I missing?
So simply put, we had a catered tailgate. Shout out to my friends at Henry Flock Steakhouse, who were able to provide us with the burgers and the brats and the hot dogs and some trays of mac and cheese for everyone to eat at the tailgate. And then at the end of the tailgate, we're putting it away. And I was like, guys, let's get this going. Right. And then we're packing up and I see an unopened tray of mac and cheese there. And I'm like, well, I'm not leaving this out. I'm going to try to take this in. I put it out just like I put my phone, my keys, my tray of mac and cheese, and I walked through the metal detector, and they slid it on through and gave it to me on the other side.
What?
Yep, 100%. And then
was it a tinfoil tray?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I thought it had to be in a Ziploc bag.
I don't know. I didn't ask questions. And then you're asking the questions now. I wasn't asking questions. I had no questions. And then we went to the seats and I'm eating it. And I swear on my life that hey, anybody else want some? And there was a group of people not associated with us. And this guy sees it and he goes, how much is it going to cost for me to get some of that mac and cheese?
Okay.
And I went, I don't have anything to put it in for you. And he goes, I have a container. He had like gotten a little paper boat with like a brat in it or something. I don't know. And so he had like a usable, and I went, $5 and it's yours. He could not have pulled the money out fast enough.
Okay.
At the end of it, we just ended up giving him the tray. We just said, this guy needs the mac and cheese more than we do. We just gave him the whole tray. It was awesome.
So not only did you get away with something that I don't know that anybody else has ever gotten away with in bringing a full 8x12 tin tray of mac and cheese into AmFam Field, but then you vended it.
Yeah, I made $5. Made $5 off of it. Yeah, it was the win of the day. Honestly, when looking at how the game went, that was the win. The win was the mac and cheese. Alex makes a good point.
What did they say?
They literally didn't say a word.
I have so many questions. What are the rules?
I don't know. I kind of looked at this as more as like a don't ask, don't tell policy. Like, you got it in. It was delicious. We're good. Just go from there.
But at that point, you're walking up to, is this on video?
There are photos. There was actually me and one other guy from the tailgate brought one of the other mac and cheeses that was open that had been, half consumed.
Did this have a cover on it?
It had like the saran wrap still around it.
Oh, so
mine
sealed?
Did. Yes.
At that point, you walk up there with that, and you go, "Hey, I'm bringing. You just do what you did." And they go, "Dude, like, nice try." Well, then throw it away.
Right. That was the thing. If I left it outside, I wasn't going to eat it in 3.5 hours of sitting outside anyway. So I was like, either I bring it up to the game, they let it go in, or they say no, that's not allowed, and then I dump it out anyway. There wasn't a lot of risk involved with this move.
Did you think you were going to get in with it, though?
I kind of did, yeah.
Boy, the precedents that have been set this season already. at AmFam Field of what you can take in from a bring your own food in standpoint. You said, I see your spaghetti and meatballs, and I raise you a full tin of baked mac and cheese.
Yep.
And
it happened. And it happened.
Okay.
Yeah. It was great.
Any other highlights from the whole con?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the entire time we had an absolute blast from, the bar crawl that happened on Thursday, right, which did the show on Friday, but just that was awesome. The weather this weekend was, you could not have asked for better weather. So that was great. Everyone enjoyed Summerfest. That was an awesome time. Also, a shout out, not a sponsor, but shout out to Ope Brewing in West Dallas. Ope. They have a great place to hang out, and they took really good care of us as a place we went before the game and after the game yesterday. And so we had a lot of fun there. A lot of people just getting to hang out, get to meet each other, and, talk a little trash back and forth to the Cubs fans if they were there, but see some great music. There were a bunch of Saz's sampler platters consumed, lots of fried cheese consumed at Summerfest. I mean, lots. People were like, Josh, what do we eat here? Fried cheese right there. See where it says Saz's? Go order it. Everyone can get their own sample platter. Just go eat all of that. It was fantastic. It was a great time.
Come on, there's got to be one story of like, this happened.
I don't know. The mac and cheese is a pretty good one.
It's good. Yeah. Qualifies.
Yeah.
Do we have John Kuhn? Please tell me you have John Kuhn.
I don't know. We might have John Kuhn.
If it's John, awesome. If it's not,
if it's Rami,
I don't know.
If it's Rami,
crossover.
We'll bring Rami on, ask him what's coming up on 9 to noon, and send him on his way.
Good to see you. All right, we'll cross over with our friends from 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff up next. Oh boy, here we go. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The Banana Frosty Swirl is a perfect treat from Wendy's Minion Friends. They created the banana cream sauce with real banana. The flavor is like a classic banana cream pie or pudding and pairs perfectly with Wendy's Vanilla Frosty. It's available for a limited time, so go bananas today.
The crossover segment on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, with our friends from 9 to noon, with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff. John Kuhn, if you didn't think there was a God, turns out there is, because John Kuhn is here, not the Cubs fan. I feel bad for you, John, because you got to spend 3 hours with him.
Oh no, we'll make this real pleasant for all the nooners out there. The Cubs got lucky. The Cubs got lucky this week. Hey, starting pitching looked pretty good in that series. Starting pitching looked pretty good. Came down to the bullpen and getting batters around and getting base runners to score. And it begs the question right now of what does this Brewers team do down the stretch? And can they turn the tide? Can they flip the switch in a series of the playoffs when it's going to be against top competition, good pitching? And if you're going to not have a home run bat, if you're not going to have the big bats, you're going to have timely hits. And unfortunately, we just didn't see that this weekend.
So, funny story from the weekend, Josh, in regard to John. We're at a friend's house, not far away from where John resides.
Okay.
And I hear a polka party happening.
Ooh.
Which I immediately texted him and said, are you having a giant polka party? I heard a tuba. I mean, there was a tuba.
That's a heck of a text to send. Are you having a giant polka party?
Literally, it was sent. To which John said, new phone, who dis?
Are you saying you're not upset that he didn't tell you that there was indeed a party, or that you didn't get an invite to the huge polka party?
The good news was there was no party at John's house. It was apparently next door, but you could have convinced me completely that John had I would have had more questions about why John had a polka party, that literal polka music, than me not being there. I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
You ever been to a polka party?
Yeah, it's called Gemütlichkeit. Jefferson, Wisconsin. We do
a lot of beer that goes down there.
Read it. Yes, there is.
There used to be a beer festival in Chilton, Wisconsin, somewhere around there. And they always had polka bands at that beer festival. I just thought it was a Wisconsin thing. But no, not me. It was not at my house.
Boy, it sure sounded like it was. Yeah, there's polka bands all over the place.
Why not, though, John? Why aren't you hosting polka parties?
Because I'm not in Green Bay right now. I'm up north.
Okay.
It's summertime, baby.
What I heard is coming soon, John Kuhn presents world's biggest polka party.
That would be fun. I don't know if I
can you imagine John walking around holding a tuba?
Lederhosen?
That'd be awesome.
How about just walking around holding a really big stein? That's more like
yeah, let's do that.
Fair.
All right, so the Cubs got lucky. That sounds good. I saw Matthew Golden had his camp over the weekend here in Green Bay. Did you ever participate in any camp for kids when you were playing?
I did. Sometimes they get really difficult to set up. It takes a lot of manpower to put a camp together. So as my former co-host used to pull a lot of manpower together to get all his camps wrapped tightly into a schedule. It just was not something that I could do, but I did headline a couple camps for a couple organizations that I knew had good track records and the kids really enjoyed. So the Pier East, we did a camp over there 2 years in a row. I think it was like 2012, 2013, had a bunch of the kids come rolling through there. Here's a funny story about, I would say, probably about a year ago, I run into a guy, a full-grown man with a full-grown beard. And you want to know something that makes you feel old? When that full-grown man with that full-grown beard comes up and says, I was at your football camp way back in the day. I was one of the kids that you were coaching at your football camp. And I just smiled and nodded and said, yeah, that was great, wasn't it?
Interesting. Hi. Oh, how old are you? 35? 3 kids?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
What's coming up the rest of 9 to noon today?
Well, NBA free agency starts tomorrow. So what kind of impact? We're already seeing crazy stuff happen around the NBA. Does anything really happen with the Bucks there? But a lot more about the Brewers and the Cubs series, what we can expect going forward. And the Brewers, do they embrace being potentially a front runner? Are the Brewers a front runner right now?
Boy, I feel like they are, but not after this last weekend and not certainly after the last 3 hours. I've convinced myself that right now I do not feel like the Brewers are front runners. Josh, do you?
No. Maybe still in the
why?
division. Because all season long, John, it's been, can they get over the hump of the Dodgers? And right now, I feel like, no, they can't.
I mean, that's the game left.
Yeah, but that's the only comparison we have is the way we're playing now. Are the wins that we're putting together going to be able to get us past teams like, and I've said this all morning, the Phillies, the Braves, the Cubs, the Dodgers, when it matters most? And if there are what appear to be holes, it just doesn't feel right. All right, 9 to noon, John Kuhn, Rami Makloff coming up next here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Stay tuned for that. Our thanks to Tim Allen. Wow, he had a lot to say today.
He sure did.
Like, I blinked and it was 23 minutes past the hour, and I still wanted to talk about what was coming, but he had a lot to say. If you missed it, go back and check it out. Tim Allen joining us again on a Monday on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tomorrow, a Take Back Tuesday. I do not take back posting that video on Friday of Fly the L.
No, we'll see.
You might take it back for me, I guess. All right. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. We'll see you tomorrow.
Because we're not done yet.